Hey there, Glenn with the Toy Temple, and today I get to review the Overwatch Ultimate Reinhardt action figure from Hasbro, and I found it for $7.49, down from $59.99, then $42.99, then finally $29.99, and then on top of that, GameStop was doing a 75% off all Overwatch toys, and it definitely caught my eye. Found it in my local store, and wow, what a pickup this was. The packaging is neat. It's got Reinhardt right here up on the front, swinging a giant hammer with gas-powered explosions coming out, swooping across. Wow. So yeah, the packaging is neat, but it is enormous, and it's so big, I nearly can't fit it into my photo box. So I'm going to try to spin it. Let's do that. On the back, you got Reinhardt again. Some stats. He's a tank. Reinhardt Wilhelm is his name. He's an adventurer. And then the other ones in the line, Tracer, Lucio, Reaper, and Sombra. I have Reaper and Tracer, and I think that's really all I need from this wave. So flipping it around to the back, or the front rather, we're going to pop this thing open, and maybe once he's out, we'll actually have room to review him. So I hope you'll join me. And here's Reinhardt out of the package. And Reinhardt, we're going to get rid of this hammer. You've got enough stuff going on where I don't necessarily need to review the hammer quite yet. I'll get around to it, I promise. But as far as size goes, I truly believe he's a little undersized. Let me get my Mercy out here. Let me fix his arms, put him straight up. I love the look. Don't get me wrong. I love the look, but I feel like he's a little undersized. And for example, here is Mercy. I feel like that's not large enough. Like this dude was, how much? $50 at retail. And I'm almost 100% sure it was supposed to be the Build-A-Figure for that wave. But they decided to release it by itself. And you know what? That probably cut down on some costs. And let me grab Apocalypse here. I'm getting big amounts of Build-A-Figure out of this. What do you think? You think that was a possibility? I think so. Articulation-wise, he's got quite a bit for being so bulky. His shoulder pads do move so that the range of his shoulder is not inhibited. The hinge feels good. All of his joints are really tight on both. This here, let's get rid of this. We'll talk about that here in a sec. Wrists do go all the way around. They've got a hinge for his hammer wielding. Both feel fairly tight, fairly good. He does have a bicep swivel, which is nice. Single jointed elbows. He does have waist, or rather upper torso. He's got this little translucent flap. I don't know why it's translucent, but he does have nice range on his legs. Legs kick back that far, kick forward that far, and they kick out that far. So not too shabby there. Double jointed knees. Wow, on this dude, for real. But is it? Oh, it's so hard to, ugh. Whew. Look at that, double jointed knees. And ankle rocker and ankle pivot. So not too bad in the articulation department. Now let's talk about that paint. And what a lot of paint this thing has. Paint looks good there. Little touches of yellow along his chest. Little barcode J08. The red. It looks almost like custom spray painted. Not at the factory, but like in the game. They gave it that kind of like dirty mechanical look, which I dig a lot. On the back, you got the little yellow right back there. They actually did a really decent job there. These flaps, I just realized, are also that translucent plastic. But I'm sure it reduces the weight to make them as such. But yeah, the paint looks really good. I'm digging it a lot. He's got, hey, what's up? He's got fist paint. The silver's rocking. I'm digging this a lot. The yellow up at the visor. Is it supposed to go all the way down because it's like kind of slanted? Or is it just in the eyes? His head rotates fairly, oh, all the way around. Look at that. Nice. I do like his gummy antenna. And I know why it's gummy. Here's why. Because if you prop this dude up and he falls over, that weight, if this was just pure plastic, would snap those things off like that. So I'm actually super happy that those are gummy. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but that is the exact reason. And you can't argue that if those broke, everybody would just whine and whine and whine about it. But thankfully, that's not an issue with this. Let's finally get to talking about these accessories. I'm dying to put this hammer back in his hand. Let's do it. So accessory-wise, he does come with quite a few things, and this is the thing I'm sure is catching your eye. No, it's not a Tupperware container. It is a shield. And what a shield, because this thing is enormous. This actually surprised me when I was taking it out of the box. I had no idea that this was in the box. And it did come with these little circular clips, and it took me a good minute to figure out what these were for. So basically, you'll display it upright like this. You'll take our good buddy Reinhardt, and you will peg in that shield. Yeah, you can start to see where the problem is here. You peg that in, and then it doesn't scrape up the shield should you be using it. And then the little lion head thing can both fit on this and his arm. So yeah, he's got a giant shield, and it scrapes along, but these little black caps at the base prevent that from happening. So you can have them, I don't know, creating a shield so you can play capture the flag. Weird. I will not be displaying him with this because if you look, it really makes him a little lopsided. I think you could get away with it, but man, it's a lot. This might be the largest accessory I've ever reviewed. That's too big. This lion head shield thing fits on his arm, pegs right in, like so. The hammer, pretty girthy, not the exact size, and I was looking it over, and I swore I noticed something was off. And so I looked at the box, and it's supposed to have like a little lion design. They didn't paint that on there. The hammer, I don't know, it's got like a little rubber pad. Yeah, that's like squishy foam. Yeah, you can pound with that. I do like the exhaust out to the jetpack boosters. Missed a little bit of paint there in the center, and it gets a little sloppy with those yellows, but I like the molded silver. It looks like a giant hammer, and it does fit in his hand quite nicely. So he's got the giant hammer, he's got the little baby shield. Pretty solid. Good amount of accessories, if a little crazy. I mean, yeah, if you do food prep, this thing's great, but for an action figure accessory, I don't see it. So, what do I think of Reinhardt? Well, is there a rating beyond 5? This might be deal of the year. To get this amount of action figure for this amount of price, that's a steal of a deal if I've ever seen it. And I don't think I've gotten a better deal in quite some time. For those of you that paid the $50, I'm sure you're happy with it. And I'm sure it's an attention getter on your shelf. I'm sure it is. But when you factor in Tupperware container lids and, I don't know, these little circular things, all you really need is this dude. All you need is just a giant mech robot with a giant hammer. I'm sure they wanted it to be a Build-A-Figure, and these pieces had to fit inside of their respective boxes with Tracer and Reaper and that whole wave. But this is an easy, for me, 5 out of 5. This is just cool. Giant robots with hammers are always a 5 out of 5, as long as they look cool. And this might be one of the coolest action figures I own. Love the paint, love the detail, love the sculpt, love the deco. Love it. I love it. It's great. For the price, for the size, I think it's perfect. It has issues. It does. But nothing that's going to break my heart. So, yeah, what do you think? Did you buy it new or did you get it during the GameStop sale? Let me know down in the comments. Hit like, share, subscribe. Hit me up on Twitter and Instagram, both at The Toy Temple. And remember, you're never too old to enjoy the things you love.